which probably was supposed to show that now he was all business. No, I didn't mean that you were, to use your term, easy," he stumbled, trying valiantly to recover. "No, He seemed to lose his way and cleared his throat several times before his mental processes kicked in again. "It's just that, from what I've heard and read, anybody who has any, hope of enticing Nero Wolfe to undertake a case has to approach you first, and that I am most willing, Mr. Goodwin." I braced for another throat-clearing interlude, and sure enough, it arrived on schedule. If this was his average conversational speed, the phone company must love this guy. "I will lay my Jeremiad before you and you alone, and trust you to relay it accurately to Mr. Wolfe. You have a reputation, if I am not mistaken, for reporting verbatim conversations of considerable duration." Okay, so he was working on me. I knew it. After all, he had the subtlety of a jackhammer, but maybe that was part of his charm, if you could use that term on such a guy. And I was curious as to just what information he had about the late Hale Markham's death. Also, the word Jeremiad always gets my attention. "All right," I told him. "I'll see you tomorrow. What about 10 in the morning?" He said that was fine, and I gave him the address of Wolfe's brownstone on West 35th Street, near the Hudson. The next day he rang our doorbell at precisely 10 by my watch, which was 1 point in his favor. I've already described his appearance, which didn't surprise me at all when I saw him through the one-way glass in our front door. His looks matched his phone voice, which at least gave him another point for consistency. I let him in, shook a small but moderately firm paw, and ushered him to the red leather chair at the end of Wolfe's desk. "So now you're up to speed, and we can go on." "Okay, Mr. Cortlandt," I said, seated at my desk and turning to face him. "You've told me twice on the phone and just now that your colleague Hale Markham did not accidentally stumble down that ravine. Tell me more." I flipped open my notebook and poised a pen. Cortlandt gave a tug at the knot of his blue wool tie and nudged his glasses up on his nose by pushing on one lens with his thumb, which probably explained why the glass was so smeared. "Yes. Well, perhaps I should discourse in commencement about Hale, although I'm sure you know something of him." When I'd translated that, I nodded. "A little. I know, for instance, that he was a political conservative, to put it mildly, that he once had a newspaper column that ran all over the country, that he had written some books, and that he was more than a tad controversial." "Succinct, though superficial," Cortlandt said, sounding like a teacher grading his pupil. He studied the ceiling as if seeking divine guidance in choosing his next words, or else trying to reboard his train of thought. "Mr. Goodwin, Hale Markham was one of the few, truly profound political thinkers in contemporary America, and like so many of the brilliant and visioned, he was constantly besieged and challenged, not just from the left, but from specious conservatives as well." He paused for breath, giving me the opportunity to cut in, but because it looked like he was on a roll, I let him keep going, lest he lose his way. "Hale was uncompromising in his philosophy, Mr. Goodwin, which is one of the myriad reasons I admired him and was a follower, a disciple, if you will. And do not discount this as mere idle palaver. I think I'm singularly qualified to speak. After all, I had known him nearly half again a score of years. Hale took a position and didn't back away. He was fiercely combative and outspoken in his convictions." "Which were?" I asked, after figuring out that half again a score is 30. Cortlandt spread his hands, palms up. "How to begin?" he said, rolling his eyes. "Among other things, that the federal government, with its welfare programs and its intrusions into other areas of the society where it has no business, has steadily, if sometimes unwittingly, been attenuating the moral fiber of the nation,
Para seguir escuchando este audiolibro gratuitamente, haz clic en el enlace de la descripción y podrás escucharlo completo sin coste gracias a la prueba de 30 días de Audible.